Sue Landsberg from Ireland. Sue is mindfulness technique teacher. She's been living in South Africa for 15 years, and back there she helped adolescent kids to facilitate and make them aware about mindfulness technique. Since 2 years, she's back in Ireland, and from there, now live Zoom Live and Facebook Live, she's helping women from around the world find inner peace, connect with their heart and soul through mindfulness relaxation techniques. And here we are with you live. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for saying yes to help another woman. This group is very special. It's a group of women who are warriors, domestic survivors, and we are so blessed and glad to have you. And I hope the interview is going to bring a lot of fruits and help all of us to be more calm, relax, and release trauma, release anxiety. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here and to have met you a few months ago, Anna. It was my privilege to meet you and connect with such a beautiful woman doing great work. And you just put tears in my eyes every time I see your videos. So thank you too. We're all here to support each other as women. We support and inspire and nurture each other. I feel that's what we're all here for. And the group you've created is so helpful to women to find that safe space where they can heal and grow and develop new skills that nurture them, that they can, despite anything that's happened, that they can live their best and happiest life. And something that happens to them doesn't have to define them, no matter what that is. It doesn't have to be their story. You know, there are so many techniques that we can learn that can help us to heal from that and to live better lives. And that's what I share. So my passion is to help other people. That's why I'm here. And I'm really grateful to have this chance to share some of that with you guys over there and around the world, because we're all connected, we're all one. So no matter where you are in the world, there are women like this group who are there to help and support each other. So yeah, I can tell you a bit about, well, mindfulness. I came across mindfulness probably about 16 years ago because I struggled with debilitating anxiety. It really was destroying my life, and somehow, like these things do, it just came into my life. And so I have studied ever since, and I've developed programs, like Anna said, for caregivers, for women, for other adults, for teens and for children, to help them, teaching them basically coping skills that we were never taught as children growing up, that we all really need. And mindfulness is really about, mindfulness is awareness. So it's about being aware, being fully present right here, right now, in a non-judgmental and compassionate way. And the reason why that is so powerful is we, as humans, we live on autopilot. So we're not even aware what's going on in our minds. Our thoughts are so random. 60,000 thoughts or more a day. They're so random.
How many?
About 60,000 a day. And you know what? Often the biggest revelation to me was that I am not my thoughts, because I had very unhelpful thoughts. And you can see how a lot of people with trauma and anxiety, their thoughts are not so necessarily helpful, and they're not positive. So if we're not aware of this, the thoughts we have dictates our emotions, which dictates the way we behave and the way we are in the world. So when we become aware that we can manage our emotions and our thoughts in a more helpful way, you know, we can create a happier, healthier mindset. And this is something that we can learn, because with neuroplasticity, that's the ability of the brain to change. So whatever your thinking patterns are now, when you become aware of that and you change it to what you want to be thinking and how you want to be, even if you don't believe it at the start, over time, that becomes your default way of thinking. So if you think of it like a ski slope, I'm sure you've been skiing. I've never been skiing, but I know what a ski slope looks like. So if you imagine a ski slope, and that slope that is most used is the way you will generally go, you know, because it's easier, it takes less energy. So we tend to do, whether it's helpful or unhelpful, we go that same route. Whereas if we develop new neural pathways that are more helpful, that can become our new routes to go. And so I have totally changed my mindset and my mind over years, and it has been absolutely incredible. And anyone can do it with techniques that they practice. So the first thing would be to become aware of your thoughts. You know, what are my thoughts? Yeah, become aware. Are your thoughts in the past, or are they in the future? So what we want to do, say a few times a day, anchor this technique onto something you already do a few times a day, like washing your hands, putting on the kettle. So when you're doing that, whatever you do a few times a day, you're going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to check in. Where are my thoughts at? Yeah. Do you brush your teeth about 5 times a day? Whatever you do often, or even that in the morning as well. So you're going to check in. Is my mind, my thoughts, are they in the past, replaying old stories? Or is my mind now in the future, worrying and stressing about things that haven't even happened? You know, that is not a helpful thinking routine. When you bring yourself back into the present moment, you say, oh, okay, my mind is in the past, my mind is in the future, neither of which exist right now. You bring yourself back into the present moment. Science says, and it makes sense, that we are happier when our mind is in the present moment with our body right here, right now. Now, how do we do that? As I said, you anchor it onto something you already do in the day. But you know, your mind is racing. You got your monkey mind. And a lot of people with trauma and anxiety, okay, they might say, okay, now I'm present, but I'm very anxious and I'm very stressed out. So what do? A lot of the time we identify with our thoughts, and we believe all our thoughts, and they become exaggerated and overwhelming. So what we want to do is get out of our heads, right? Bring ourselves into the present, get out of our heads. And the way we do that is by using our breath. That's the easiest way. So when you anchor this technique onto something, like I said, that you already do, you're going to become aware of your breath in your body. Now, it's not enough just to become aware of the breath. You want to either feel, you can hold your hands on your tummy, right? Okay, I can see, good. I'm glad to see you're all taking part. Hands on your tummy. And when we practice deep belly breathing, that's breathing deeply into our belly, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, because breathing through your mouth isn't good for your health, right? So unless you have obstructions, try to be conscious of breathing through your nose. So as you inhale through your nose, okay? A lot of people who are stressed and anxious actually breathe into their chest area. And that's okay if you do that right now, but you want to try and have your breathing deeper feel your rib cage expand, your belly expand like this. Imagine a balloon in your tummy. And as you breathe in, that balloon inflates. And as you exhale through your nose, that balloon deflates.
I didn't know that breathing through nose is more effective. I had no idea.
Yeah, because breathing through your nose, it filters, it warms, and it purifies the air. You sleep better. A lot of people who suffer with sleep apnea, anxiety, asthma, a lot of things, they are mouth breathers, and it affects your blood pressure over time, all these different things very quickly. So if you can become try to breathe more through your nose. Your athletic performance increases, and as does your sleep improves and many more things. But that's just one little tip. So you want to try it. You can either focus on feeling your breath as your tummy inflates and deflates. And what we're doing here is we're giving that overactive brain a job to do. There's no point in just breathing deeply. You want to focus your attention onto your breathing. So you're going to focus on feeling the breath. And very importantly, if you're breathing, first of all, into your chest area, when we practice mindfulness, we are being kind and non-judgmental. So if you currently breathe in there, don't berate and criticize yourself. You say, okay, I've got this. Over time, I'm going to practice, because we are practicing being kind to ourselves, right? Right. Very important. And so another thing you can do is you can count your breath. Breathe in, ideally breathe in for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 7 if you can, but don't get too hung up on the numbers. And exhale for the count of 8. What's most important here is simply, again, giving your brain a job to do, that is focusing on the counting. And the second important thing is to make your exhale longer than your inhale. Oh. And the reason for that is it has a calming effect on the mind, the chemical reaction of stress in your mind. So it calms your body and calms your mind.
I can feel it already. I'm less anxious.
Yeah. Yes, usually 3 cycles of breath, 3 or 4 cycles of inhalation and exhalation is usually 1 minute. So if you're out, what I love to teach is techniques that you can use on the go, like when you're out and about in your day, because panic and anxiety, all of that can come over you without warning, and you don't have time to go sit on a meditation cushion and go lie on the floor. So you want something that works right there and then. So if you do 3 cycles of breath, feeling or counting your breath, exhale longer than the inhale, 3 cycles, what you are doing, as I said, is calming that chemical reaction. Because when we become panicked and stressed, there's a chemical reaction in the brain. Our emotional brain is flooding our logical thinking brain with stress chemicals, right? Stress hormones. And that is why, yes, we can't think straight. We become more panicked. The more panicked we become, the more the chemicals take over. So we need to calm that response. And the breath is how we calm that response. Another nice breathing technique, because once you've done a few cycles of that, the chemical reaction calms down and you feel more at ease. So you can use that anytime. Another nice one to do is you can do the breathing. You can say, as I'm breathing in, I do my best.
As I breathe in, I do my best.
As I breathe out, I let go of the rest.
As I breathe out, I let go of the rest.
Yeah, we can practice that twice. You can say it out loud. Everybody will join in with you, or just say the words to yourself. Again, your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. So you're giving it something positive to focus on that is helpful to you. So we can practice that together. As I breathe in, I do my best. As I breathe out, I let go of the rest. And maybe do that twice. It's hard to breathe and say the words out loud at the time.
That's what I want.
Yeah. So you do, I'll say the words and you can say it to yourself and breathe. So we'll do that twice.
All right.
As I breathe in, I do my best. As I breathe out, I let go of the rest. As I breathe in, I do my best. And as I breathe out, I let go of the rest. One more time. As I breathe in, I do my best. And as I breathe out, I let go of the rest. Okay, so that's three different ones. You can name the breath, use those words, you can count, or you can feel the breath. Different techniques resonate with different people, but that's something you can use anywhere. That's the power of the breath. The breath has the ability to calm your body and calm your mind. So remember, calm body, calm mind. If you can tune in also to what we learn also is to tune into our bodies. And when we learn to tune into the signals that our stress or trauma or anxiety is causing in our body, which can be like perspiring, shallow breathing, palpitations. When we learn to recognize those symptoms in our body, what we can do is use that breathing before that hijacks our brain. So when those symptoms become hectic, generally we are like, I want this to stop, it has to stop, and we're trying to resist it and make it stop. But by actually saying, recognizing, okay, this is really hard for me, I'm experiencing these symptoms in my body. It is not me, it's something I am experiencing. So it is separate to you. You're observing this thing going on in your body, right? You're going to say, okay, I'm going to be with this, but I know what to do to calm the symptoms. And when you practice that breathing, the body then calms and you can think with more clarity and calm. So what you are doing is tuning in. We often do like a body scan, and we can do a quick body, again, you know, this is something you can do on the go. And it's called the CALM technique. CALM,
Okay.
right? CALM technique. So when you're feeling these in your body, or you can again attach this a few times a day to something you already do, right?
Right.
And the key here is practicing these techniques when you don't need them, right? So it becomes your automatic go-to behavior, so that when you do need it, you know what to do automatically.
Come back.
Don't wait. Yeah, don't wait until you need it to practice. Practice. Yeah, practice like a few times a day. Make it a habit, and it's so worth it. It works. So the calm technique is something I also do a few times a day. Again, I do a check-in. See my chest, right? C for chest. Open my chest, breathe deeply, because when we're stressed or anxious or fearful or feeling like low in ourselves, our posture tends to be hunched over, which makes us feel weaker, less in control. So when we stand tall and we open our chest and breathe deeply into our tummies,
Right.
we feel more confident, we feel more in control. The breath gives us control, because when you're experiencing anxiety and effects of a trauma, you feel like you're losing control. So these techniques give you back control because you have tools to use that work. So chest, C for chest is open your chest, breathe deeply, right? Mm-hmm. Then the A, C-A, A is my arms. How are my arms feeling? We often get very tense when we're stressed, right? So I'm going to become now I'm going to become aware of my arms and my shoulders. I'm going to release, just allow that tension to leave my arms and my shoulders, right? So deep breathing, release the tension in your arms. Then we move on to L for legs. Again, your legs.
Do I breathe through nose or through mouth, right? I mean, do I breathe through nose to my stomach?
Yeah.
Like before, when I
Yeah.
do the test?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So breathing deep into your tummy, right? Then you're going to let the tension release from your arms and shoulders, become aware of it. See if you can tense and relax those areas. Mm-hmm. Then we move on to L for our legs. Again, tense and release. Just see if you can release any tension you're holding in your body. Again, it drops you out of your head and into your body. So you are calming your body. And then M, C-A-L-M, M is for movement. Often when we're anxious and stressed, yeah, there is nothing better than movement. Shake your body, jump around, do what you got to do, because movement makes us happy.
Yeah.
Movement and exercise relieve stress. You see? Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to do that calm. That's the calm technique. Chest, arms, legs, movement. And when you check back in with, and when you continue breathing deeply all that time, you'll notice now that your mind has calmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scientific technique. It calms your mind. So that's another great one to try out. Okay.
So I need to tell you that I honestly right now feel more relaxed, and I kind of had really bad sleep tonight, so I was a little anxious in the morning.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Relieve that a little anxiety or headache, a little, I relieve it from the movement and breathe. So that's wonderful.
Movement and breathing, exactly. And they're quick and easy things. And a lot of people overlook the quick and simple, easy techniques because they think, oh, I won't bother. But they are so powerful. And when you integrate these into your day, what I love about mindfulness, it's not something extra you need to do because we're all busy enough. It's things that you can practice throughout your day, in what you're doing anyway. So that's what's really nice there. So what else? The calm response. Yeah. Another, what's very important.
I learned so much already. Like I feel so much calmer. And I'm watching the Facebook. If anybody has any comments, questions, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. What I always start my training with, and it's really important, is self-compassion. Now, there's a science the science of self-compassion has been proven in so many studies to be hugely beneficial for trauma victims, for those struggling with anxiety, with stress, with people who have low confidence, low self-esteem. And it's really, really beautiful and really, really important. So as with any of these techniques, mindfulness is very powerful, but it is also not a replacement for other therapies, but it supports any other therapies or medical treatment one may need, or professional counseling or psychotherapy. It is a support to those. So and everybody has different experiences, and you should always seek a professional who is, who knows what they're doing with you, especially if you're already feeling vulnerable and have been through a lot. You need to take all of these techniques gently.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So many of us I'm saying about the group, some of us have therapists, and maybe there would be a question, do I need to quit my therapy? The answer is no.
This goes a lot. This may be enough for some people. It depends on your experience. But if it's trauma and abuse, it supports it, it enhances it, because it gives you tools. What I found is therapy was great, medication is great, they all have their place. But these techniques gave me back control, because I felt that with panic attacks and anxiety, I was losing control. But this actually I became stronger. I was back I reclaimed my power, my personal power, that I had control back. And that's what these techniques give you. So with self-compassion, what we do is there's number one, mindfulness. So we become aware. We become aware that this is really hard for me, and I am struggling, and I'm not okay, and I need support. So when you're becoming aware, right? You're aware, you're not just totally lost in it all and not know what's going on. You're aware of what's going on, and it's really hard, and you're acknowledging that. The second thing is common humanity. You are recognizing that you are not alone, that there are so many people out there who are experiencing the same as you. So you are not isolated, you are not alone. There is always people there to support you.
Right.
Because when we feel we are going through these things, we often feel very isolated and very alone. And there's shame and there's violation and a guilt, and then you can become very avoidant and isolated, and then your anxiety increases and depression. And the problem there is you turn to unhelpful coping mechanisms just to get through, just to cope. But recognizing that you are not alone and there is support for you is huge, and to reach out. And then we have kindness. So what's really important here is seeing what you need in that moment. So a lot of us, like no matter what we've been through, we tend to be very critical of ourselves, right? So there's a few things we can do here, right? First of all, we heal quicker when we practice self-compassion. So I've just written a few things here because I don't want to miss anything for you. So
I just get so much knowledge in one pill.
No, well, it's wonderful, the work. So there's things you can do, right? You're going to.
We are ready to work with you.
Yeah, well, the steps would be, when I say we're very self-critical, think about if your very special friend went through something difficult, right? Write a letter to them, how you would speak to them, how you would support them, right? Now see if you can bring a little bit of that to yourself then. Can you be a little kinder to yourself? Can you treat yourself and speak to yourself the way you would your own best friend who is suffering? Wow. How do you speak to yourself? Do you speak? That's where mindfulness is started. It makes you aware of how you are speaking to yourself. The kinder you are to yourself, the quicker you heal, the happier you will be, and your health and your mental and emotional health will improve, and you will be you'll just be a happier, more fulfilled person, and you'll be whole again, you know? So just write that letter like it's your own best friend and see if you can bring a bit of that to yourself. Another practice you can do is focusing on your own special qualities and things that are special in you and things you appreciate about yourself. Write that list. Keep it visible. If you struggle to find some things, ask people around you. Sometimes we don't see. Sometimes we need people to point out to us, and that's also okay. And even if it's just one thing, start with that and you will build on it. So when we focus on our unique strengths and qualities, you know, because what trauma and anxiety and all of these things that you can struggle with, what it does, and where you are today, it shows that you are brave, you are strong, you're courageous. You know, you're such an empathetic person as a result, because you have a deep understanding and connection and compassion for other people. This is beautiful, and we need to build on these attributes. You know, look at you are such a gift to the world now. You are such a gift. And so make a list of those strengths, because when we focus on them, it builds our inner strength and our confidence.
Self-esteem.
And self-esteem, just to bring up, self-esteem can rise and fall. So working on your self-esteem is very fickle, because when things are going great, your self-esteem can be up. But when things don't go great, your self-esteem drops. But self-compassion is your forever friend. It doesn't go up and it doesn't go down. It's always yours. It's always there. So work on your self-compassion. Another thing you can do is writing 5 things a day. Again, a quick practice, but so powerful, that you are grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for. And this practice may seem trivial, but it's very powerful, because what you are doing is you are focusing on the positive and the things you are grateful for. And remember, what you practice, you become. So you are developing a more positive neural pathway in your brain, which is a more positive one, one that you will automatically go down. You have a choice. You have a choice of where your focus and your attention is going. I'm not saying it's easy. I am not saying with mindfulness, we befriend and we don't try and resist anything that has happened. Or what we do is, when we tune into the emotions in our body, we observe them and we allow them, like thoughts, they come and they go. No emotion is there forever. No one emotion, no one thought. So it's recognizing when you think something or you feel something, it'll come and it'll go. Just watch it, like you're the observer on the side of the road and the carnival is going by, right? Yeah. This beautiful, crazy, colorful carnival. And this is like your thoughts or your emotions, right? You observe them. You don't have to join in. You don't have to hop on and go along for the ride. You can just watch as it comes and it goes. Okay.
That's the power. Yeah, it makes sense. I just realized that's the power of now, right? That's the.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Observing and the power of being fully present and being the observer, you know.
I found a few times I spent like a few days practicing this gratitude, writing down what I'm grateful for, meditating. But then when some high stressful situation happened, I couldn't, my body didn't remember this. I couldn't really come back to this. It took me kind of a lot of minutes to come back to this.
No. Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Do I practice should I practice more, or is it, the question is, can we create this untouchable peace and calm inside, which cannot be broken?
Yes, you can. The more you practice, the more you can access that safe space inside yourself. And that's what self-compassion has taught me. Like another thing in self-compassion is, well, one is the words you use to yourself, right? Use words like, have a mantra every day or an affirmation. Short, always positive. I am cared for. I am safe. I am loved. Something like that, what you want to hear, right? And you say that as often as you need. Start your day with that. End your day with that. Use it during the day. Also, there's great, when you give yourself a hug, right? Now, the mind doesn't know whether that is somebody else giving you a loving hug or you. And we can't all hug each other right now. So giving yourself that reassuring hug and saying, I've got you. I've got you. I'm here to support you. You are safe. You are loved. Your brain doesn't know, your brain just reacts to what it's hearing and what it's feeling, right? So that's also very powerful to do. Give yourself.
I feel more kindness, kind of. Like,
yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you are bringing yourself, by doing these practices we've mentioned, you're building your own inner safe space.
Oh, safe space. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that you can go back to.
Between my belly and here.
Yeah, yeah. And when you through these practices, you learn to love and respect and honor yourself so much that whatever goes on around you, now it takes time and everybody's different, but you have that space inside you that no matter what's going on around you, you can still come to that safe space.
So how could I, let's say, we have some women who are stuck in a toxic relationship right now, getting abused every day. How this technique could make me
it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger as a person. So first of all, they help you to think with more clarity. So you're not dealing with, like, obviously that's a very emotional, very difficult thing. A person should always reach out or seek help, you know. But sometimes people feel trapped. And when you practice the deep breathing, it helps you to have more clarity so that you will make more helpful decisions and you will make more skillful decisions. That's the first thing. When you practice the boosting yourself, your own strengths, and you have the power of the breath to help you, and you're focusing on building your self-love and compassion and what you need, what that does is it builds your inner strength and your confidence and your belief in yourself. So then you become stronger and more able to make changes, positive changes in your life. Because when we're knocked down continually, we lose our self-belief and our self-worth. But by practicing these things, we are building ourselves up again. And that gives you the courage and the strength to know that you can make positive changes and that you are worth it.
I love that. I used to struggle really with serious anxiety, and I used to feel like in prison.
Yes.
In past trauma, I used to be very tense on my body.
Yes.
And people used to tell me, "Hey, relax," and it was never like, "Hey, like if I could, I would." Right?
I know. It's like telling somebody to calm down, but they don't know how. We need to be taught how to relax, how to calm. Yeah, it's not good enough to just say relax. Like, I mean, that makes you worse. Yeah.
So I already feel I know techniques which I can use, like you said, in a few seconds to change the way I feel. I can go to bathroom if I am at work and just find my 5 minutes with myself, close my eyes and come back to that moment when I feel right now peaceful and calm and kind inside.
Yes, and giving yourself, have that list of, or, you know, in your mind of what you need. What do you need? Do you need kind words to yourself? Do you need touch? Like giving your own self that supportive touch? Or do you need to be in nature more? Have your go-to list of what you need. And you are worth it, you deserve it, you know, and nobody can do that for you. You need to do that for yourself, you know, but it makes a massive difference. You know, I was very broken, but I built myself up through all these practices, and I can promise they work. They are scientifically proven, and I'm testimony that they do work. You know, we're all in different circumstances, different situations. Another thing you can do is at night, you know, there's formal, we were talking about as well, meditation and mindfulness. So mindfulness becomes, the more you practice, it becomes a way of being. So you constantly are living, bringing your attention back to right here, right now, all the time. And you find that by doing so, gosh, I feel much happier. I actually feel less stressed because your mind isn't in the past and the future, you know? And that's when you're also reliving trauma and anxiety and all these events that went on. You know, you're just rehashing it over and over again. And I'm not saying it's not painful, of course it is. And therapy will help you through that. And writing is very, very powerful, journaling. write anything you want. You can even burn it and throw it away. But when you write, you get those things, you get it out of your head and the emotions out of your body and onto paper. It's also very, very therapeutic. As is exercise is vital. Exercise of whatever form you enjoy is vital for that anxiety and that stress. And at night, when you're trying to go to sleep, a quick body scan you can do is like starting at your toes. There's so many meditations online, but you can start at your toes and work your way up. Look at my little friend.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Work your way up from your toes. Just become aware of your toes. Try and relax your toes. Work your way up your calves, up past your knees. When you're lying in bed, what you're doing is just shifting. When we can't sleep, our mind is overactive. So we're shifting our awareness into our body and we're relaxing our body from our toes all the way up slowly. And until we reach our head, you know, my jaw, my shoulders, everything is calm and relaxing. And usually by the time you reach your head, your body is so much more relaxed and you'll fall asleep. Because when we can't sleep, we're spending too much time in our head. Yeah.
Thinking the same thoughts.
Thinking. And it's like a broken record, same thing over and over again. So you gotta, are your thoughts helpful? Or are they hindering your well-being, you know? And then it's, you know, you can also, there's so many other techniques. But if you start practicing those few, it will certainly help. Because the key is to be able to, say, reframe your thoughts. If your thoughts are unhelpful, write them down. Now, can I reframe that to make it more positive or helpful? And the more you do that, again, you're developing a more positive mindset. You're being able to see things from a different perspective, a healthier, more positive perspective for you, even if you don't believe it at the start.
I already feel like I'm calm down this inner critic because of, since early age, I just like a lot of us has this inner critic, which
Yes,
be all the time talking negative, like thoughts in my mind.
Yeah.
And I would, in some point in my life, I will really dislike myself because I was thinking I am the mindset, the thoughts I had in my mind. And then maybe at age, well, a few years ago, I discovered by reading the book, The Power of Now.
Yes.
I discovered great book. Yeah, I hope you are going to write your own book so we can read your book as well, because of I feel you are just a living book. Like I just learned so many.
Oh, we all are. Hey, we all are.
That's well, yeah. I just a moment. We have also somebody join, GB join us. GB, would you like to make any questions to Sue? I will right now ask you to start video. Hello, GB, do you hear us? No? Ask to unmute. Okay. Well.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
How is the interview so far for you?
Great. I've learned a few things myself.
That's amazing. Would you like to? Do you have any question to Sue? Would you like to share something or just?
Not really.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
Oh, now I can see you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Wonderful. I love the positive energy and smile. And
thank you.
Thank you for.
No problem at all.
So, do you practice some exercise already about mindfulness? Have you been practicing before, or?
Well, I just say generally, just incorporating it into my lifestyle. I suppose as I grow older as well, you know, and you realize that I suppose I'd share this. One of the things that I learned and that I now share with anyone that I have the opportunity to is to be mindful of their internal organs. So I always say that, look, when I know we're talking about anxiety and all that today, and especially when it's from it's as a result of abuse or some sort of trauma or some sort of situation that we've been through. In those moments, you almost lose your mind in some cases. And in those moments, you go through so much, you just completely forget that it's beyond just that moment. And what happens is, all the energy that we're taking in at that time, they're mostly negative energy. We're worrying, we're crying, we're stressed out, all of this energy is negative energy. And somehow emotions and on all of that affects us, it affects our internal organs. And so through all of those trauma, drama, and whatever it is, I know it's different for everybody. We take in all of that and it affects those organs. And then as time goes on, then they start to play out, and I always say the saddest thing for me is that you don't get to figure that out quick enough in some cases. If you fell down and you had a scratch on your skin, you know what to do, get a Band-Aid, whatever you need instantly. But with your kidney and the liver, it's not that instant. It's just after a while it builds up, and then all of a sudden something happens and you go to the hospital and then they tell you, oh, look, it's been gone this far, it's been gone that far. So I usually say to people, look, for the sake of your internal organs, quit the worry, quit the worry, so to speak. It's not the easiest thing to say, but I always like to put it that way, that, well, think about your internal organs, and for the sake of your internal organs, find every strength to stay calm, to stay sane, to stay happy, and to stay on top, because it is what it is. Those life issues will eventually pass, but then you have something else to deal with, because in those moments you had lost certain things. I'm struggling to pick on one thing in particular, because I know everybody's situation is different. But in those moments you're losing, if it's a kidney, you're losing the kidney little by little. If it's anxiety, if it's fear, whatever the emotions are, it's affecting one particular kidney, and after a while it's gone. Then that issue is gone, and you're having to deal with your health on top of everything else. And life is a roller coaster. So it's never the easiest thing to do, to go through trouble, to go through abuse, but just do the most that you can for your internal organs to stay sane, to stay calm. And most importantly, whatever is going to affect you, affect your mind, affect your health, stay away from it. We've got just one life. We've got just one life. We have to do what we can to be happy and to live the most of it as best as we can.
That's
very true. Very true.
It's so beautiful what you just said, and I didn't hear very well the word you said. We all have inner dialogue, or you said
the internal organs, is it?
Internal. Okay.
The internal organs. So I would say, look, for the sake of your internal organs, you just have to find the strength somehow. So because of that, when I see that I'm going down that path myself, I start to call myself back and say, look, it's time to be, mind yourself, mind the energy that you're exposing yourself to, mind the emotions that you're exposing yourself to, and then start to call myself back. And because the same thing with the positive and the positive emotions, when we let that flow through us, it also does our body good. It does our body good. I heard a phrase recently and it made me smile, because it's something I had always thought about, but I never really thought of it in the sense which the lady called it out. Is when you're in a new relationship, or when you're in love with someone, there's a certain way you blossom. There's a certain glow that comes out of you. And it's the opposite when the abuse comes. You just start to lose all of that. So every emotion actually does affect us directly somehow, and it shows, it comes through, whether it causes you to glow if it's a love situation, or it causes you to many other things. It causes the opposite otherwise if it's abuse, or if it's a situation that isn't as heartwarming as I suppose. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you for reminding us that how holistic we are. That the fact that fear is not visible, like organ, doesn't mean it doesn't affect our whole being in the same way, like our organs or our brain.
Yes.
It's just
that we don't see it, so we don't know on time.
That's right. So when you're tuning into your body, so every emotion has a mapping in the body. So when you learn to listen to your body more and to tune in, and then you can relieve those symptoms, you through the techniques and using them when you don't need them. So you're maintaining that state of calm and ease throughout your day. Yes. Rather than being up and down. So you're maintaining a more balanced state of being. Sorry. And definitely, because it's your health. And the thing is, anything can go on. So as you said, you can fall in love, events can happen, whether positive or helpful or unhelpful. But it's you who has the reaction to the event.
Exactly.
So whether it's positive or negative, you can choose how to respond.
Exactly.
It's learning, and that's not easy, but it's very possible, and it is something you just have to practice. So when events are going on in your day, take that moment, use like the stop, take a breath, observe, and then proceed. Just think, now, how am I going to choose to react to this? Because how I choose to think and feel will affect how I react, and how I react has repercussions. So I am worth more. How am I choosing to think, feel, and react about any situation?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's all awareness. That's all practice. It's not like a magic. It's nothing. Everybody can do it. It literally is a practice, and it's so worth it. It's because it changes your whole being and your whole life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Can I ask you, Gibby, did you try with us right now any of those techniques? Did you try to do them with us? Those with breathing into belly and
with the breath? Yes.
And how is that for you? Do you feel any difference after, or just a slightly difference, or?
Absolutely. I'm going to try the breathing more. I'm actually going to try it some more. Yes.
And I was wondering if it works for everybody because of
and some people resonate more. Some people they don't like to focus on their breath, but then they can focus on sights and sounds around them. So some people feel like they don't resonate with that, and that's everybody's different. But then you can focus on, say, 5 things you can see, and really focus, describe them. I'm looking at something here in the room. Describe it like you're an alien who's just dropped from Mars. So you're looking with open, curious, new eyes at this strange object. So you're really absorbing yourself in it. Again, it takes you out of your mind and into the present moment. And like that, you can practice focused awareness with sounds around you. It's all about getting out of your head and not denying your thoughts. But if they're unhelpful, you're retraining yourself to have a more positive way of thinking and bringing you into the present.
Absolutely. And I think the positive way of thinking actually it's actually priceless. When you can master it, it becomes absolutely priceless, because it just it gives you a completely different outlook to everything.
Yeah.
It does.
It's transformative, yeah. And
yes,
it's
that's the word.
experiential. Yeah. It's, you only know it by practicing, and it doesn't take a lot of practice to feel the real benefits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To maintain
so
it.
it's almost a case, it's almost a case of looking at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
Wonderful.
It's so great.
We have I'm happy we are all breathing right now when we talk. That's a little bit of joke. Okay, so we have a question actually from Joy. She is writing, my Apple Watch has a reminder of breathing when I take a deep breath. Is that occur? Is as I breathe in, I do my best, and I breathe out, I let go of the rest. Okay.
Yes.
Is it okay to have some reminders on the?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And the more often, the better. The more often you do it, the better.
Then we have from Joy also how we practice mindfulness during our mood swings. Like let's say you wake up and you feel like, oh my God, I had such a terrible sleep. Like I have really problems with a good deep sleep. So I try to meditate, like you said, but sometimes maybe because of food I'm eating or lack of exercising the right way, I just wake up and feeling still tired, you know? So
again, if you're like, try and practice breathing through your nose, you will sleep better. A lot of people are breathing through their mouth a lot, so that's one thing. Like not eating too late at night, doing the body scan before you go to sleep, or if you wake, go straight into doing that body scan. And sometimes when I wake up, you know, what we can do is go straight into, because our minds automatically go to the negative, right? So we have to train ourselves and we have to practice healthy habits of mind. So when I now wake up, and I'm not always the best in the morning, so what I've practiced now is sitting up, and instead of automatically going to that, oh gosh, I feel, you know, whatever, 3 deep, slow breaths, and practice gratitude, or I'm grateful for whatever, or that mantra that you want to use for the day. Whatever you want. And when you repeat that about 3 times and 3 mindful breaths, then get out of bed. You will set your tone for your morning, you know, and then you'll have your other reminders throughout the day. It does make a difference. If you're having like, you know, say a mood swing or being reactive to somebody, then you want to give yourself that sacred space to choose. So then you use the stop technique. You're going to stop. If you feel like emotions rising or somebody is trying to, you know,